Welcome back to Captain of Industry. My name is Niels, and we're back here with our glorious little colony that has reached, well, not almost the end, you could say, but there's still a lot of challenges, and the challenges are harder to come by because all the time we have, every time we make a little bit of change moving forward, there we get stuck on things, and the latest thing that has sort of held us back is the absolutely ridiculous amount of rock that we are mining. And it comes primarily when all of these trucks, they are carving into the mountainside here. You can see that they are not, there's not a lot of coal here. So when they start digging into this coal, all this falls down, and that means there's a lot of rock that needs to be dealt with. So we've been working on putting it on a belt, a super fast belt, but even a super fast belt isn't really super fast enough. So that's, or at least not always super fast enough. Yep, these ones are just chugging along and just sending it out as fast as they can. And yet it's still not fast enough, and that's why we still have the extremely busy part. And yep, and then just as we see oil is coming in here, that's not oil, that's this part here. I'll do that one. Good. So they can get going again, get some more stuff out here. Right, what are we going to do today? Well, we have a number of things that I want to deal with, and chief among those is the fact that this one has run full of spent fuel, and it's also going here. Now, also research-wise, we are at the last leg of our research journey here. The last and most cool thing is the fast breeder reactor that we want. It's super complicated, but the hardest part about this one is honestly the fact that it needs 60 spent MOX. So we need to get 60 spent MOX. So how do we do that? We have to melt the MOX reactor. The MOX reactor is using waste product. So you get the spent fuel and turn it into plutonium, and then you turn the plutonium into MOX rods, and the MOX rods generate power. I don't want to build a MOX power plant because the MOX power plant is reliant on spent fuel as the resource, which is pretty cool that you can use waste nuclear fuel, which is otherwise just sitting here and getting stockpiled. You can actually turn it into fuel. That's really cool. But there's also another part of it, and let's go back into this one, is that you also need down here, where is it? I feel that there was another recipe. Oh yeah, these enriched uranium, we also need that. That's part of what is needed for this part. You can see here, enriched uranium 20 goes into core fuel, which is what we need for the fast breeder. And this part here can be made in the 20% here. Can be made either with that or with the plutonium as well. So let's just go with the plutonium. We can make that in here. So first of all, we want to make 60 MOX rods, and then we need to burn them so they turn into the spent MOX rods, so we can actually do the research. It's highly radioactive, and then any excess we get after that, because this one will continue to generate some fuel, it'll actually generate 1.5 per minute, and those can be then turned into to some MOX fuel. So we have a space up here where we want to build it, and I'll go through the process, and then I'll present a design for it. We'd really like actually this nuclear reactor also to be available for the other part, the other one to be upgraded to a nuclear reactor, because the nuclear reactor here, a little bit of a side note on this is that it actually uses I was sure it uses teraflops. Really? Oh, there we go. If you enable this, it uses teraflops. Ah, cool. That's why. But anyway, this needs some... Let's actually do it flip like that. So I'm going to get some fuel inbound. That could be either the MOX rod or the uranium rod. And it needs some output here. I'm only going to use the MOX rod recipe because that's the only point of this. I'm only ever going to have it on level 1. So that means I have to deal with it at 96 steam output. That means if we are gonna go like this, we can do one of these. Oh, you know what I just thought? Oh no, I thought I could use the super steam, but I can't use the super steam because this is not producing super steam yet. Good, so this is pretty simple. That'll just go in here, and then I will be needing a recovery for this. This is the easy part. This is the nuclear part here, so we've done that before. That one, all good. So what I get here is, there we go, steam depleted, 92 water. So we need to supplement with 24 water for this loop. That's not a problem. We can actually just snatch it from this one. This one is producing 78 minus the 12, that's 66. excess water, and it's only consuming 6 plus 6 when they're fully running. So that's consuming 12 here, and it was 66, so it's 54 excess water. That means we can easily support this with the water. But that's not the difficult part. The difficult part is actually figuring out how do we make the MOX rods. Well, Chemical Plant Mark II, we're just not gonna do it for sort of design wise right now. We're just gonna do it for sort of figuring out what's ins and out. So that means plutonium needs to come in, and then also to deplete uranium. That's easy. And then some MOX rods. So depleted uranium, how do we make that? We make it in this cumbersome process. There we go. This is the only thing they can do in a nuclear reprocessing plant, and that takes some spent fuel, it takes some acid, and some molten glass. Okay, well, acid just comes in on a truck. Spent fuel, we'll get it in on a truck, but we'll first sort of also build it in one of these. Right, because it needs to be stored somewhere, and then it gets brought in. And then the glass here, we're just going to get a regular blast furnace that can produce 24. That's not a problem. And we'll get that sort of placed here. And we'll only have one recipe, and that's going to be the recycled recipe, because there's fewer ingredients and no residual slack. So broken glass and coal needs to come into this one. And then there, and then we get the glass. Okay, so that's good, but there's more to it, because this also, the marginal product is the plutonium. And if we just look at it, it's 18 gives 1, and 1 gives 3 rods. So basically 18 of these, and we're producing 18 of these gives 1 gives 3. So that's 18 becomes 3 fuel rods, and that means 6 becomes 1. And that means the other plant that's producing 1.5 per minute, then we have to divide that by 6, and that's how many fuel rods. So basically what we are looking at is that this can be 1/6 as effective as the other one. So if you have 6 columns like this, you can have 1 column for the MOX reactor. But we also built a stockpile, so this is now a 3-to-1 ratio, and that means we'll gradually be consuming this. But there's more to it. The more to it is, first of all, the fission product. Fission product we can't do anything about, so we just put it into this one. And there goes the fission product in, and then retired waste after 100 years, it becomes that. It's a funny thing. But the other thing, this reprocessed, what can we do about that? We can currently put it into an enrichment plant. I can actually put 2 of those, because why not? And that's going to go from level 1% to 4%. Okay, 1% to 4%. So what I can do with the 4%? Well, the 4%, we can make it into uranium rods. Don't want to do that, but we could. But I'd rather want to sort of push it forward into the next part, and that's actually in another enrichment plant there. This can now be made into one of those into one of those, and it's 1.88 becomes 0.38 of those. So it's very, very little I get of the uranium. But on the other hand, if we really look at this part, this is outputting 0.75, so 2 of those can go into one of these, but not 3. So we'll take 2 of these into one of those, and that gets to 0.3. That's not much. But we also have the issue, as we could see with this recipe, there's also another recipe which takes plutonium plus enriched and gets us enriched uranium 20. That's super efficient, but it uses plutonium. So what we need to do is say the plutonium that we're producing will go in here until we have 60, because at that point we don't really need it. Then I'm going to take any excess, go over here, and make that into enriched uranium 20. And then all the other excess that I'm producing here will also just go in and become uranium 20. And that's because it will give us some core fuel, or basically get us some enriched uranium when we get the fast breeder reactor, so we can actually get some fuel to get it started, because otherwise you end up waiting a lot. So this is kind of what we need to do. And then it's just a matter of trying to come up with a good way of sort of cycling it back and forth, because there's this one is requiring depleted uranium, but this one has depleted uranium out. So let's whoosh away and see if we can come up with a good design. So this is what it looks like now, and that's, well, it's difficult to see ghostly buildings on a ghostly background. So what we should be doing is, we should actually just start building everything. Let me see if there's any point to some of it being built before something else. Like, first of all, they take a lot of resources, so I've built up a large reserve here. I'm just going to try and see if I can build all of it. Well, not enough unity. That was not exactly a big surprise. Unfortunately, it was exactly this one that I wanted to build that didn't get built. That's kind of how it always goes. And let's just do everything else. Just pause it, unpause it, then when we'll take some of these things that don't need to operate. These don't have a lot of, but the stuff that has a lot of people involved, and like these things, 14 here and 14 here and 14, we don't need those operating right now. And we now have waiting inbound. I put some small boxes because we really don't need a lot. I should also have built a small box here, but I got carried away, I guess. So we now need to build up more unity in order to build this. I think it's actually, if I could just reserve that, that's 18 unity. So we'll just wait a little bit and then see if I can get, this is not important, the spent MOX, because that's, that shouldn't really be used much. Hold on. Oh yeah, the spent MOX, that's the stuff we want to accrue to 60. That's our sort of our benchmark. Let's see. So what do we have here? We have the glass production coming in, as well as the acid. So acid and glass production is complemented with the spent fuel, which I will now set a request out. This is a little bit dangerous because once they start transporting this, that means they are actually going to, when they're transporting it, they will infect the rest of the people with radioactive material. Oops. And this one should be higher priority. Thank you. This one is not built yet because, well, it's difficult. And everything else, what about you? Are you building? Almost. We'll just get that done so we can get the water, because the water will now flow into this as well to just sort of saturate it. Oh, really important. Off. No bringing anything in, because otherwise they will bring uranium rods in, and I don't want it to be operating on uranium rods. Very important. And we now need some concrete concrete slabs here, concrete. So let's do that with a command. I could do this, but I don't feel that's a good idea. I'd rather do a loan of concrete. Let's do like 400 maybe. 400, is that enough for us? I think it's enough. Do 400, that's an okay amount. And this one can then, oh, I forgot to, I don't have the unity to build it. Oops. Well, we'll get this one built. And once it's built, we can start seeing the first process coming online, and then we'll explain away. Oh, it was so close. It was so close. I could have clicked it, but then it must have brought something in. Right, we got the first one going in here, and we can see that it's now also consuming teraflops here. And that means now we're getting converted from the spent fuel coming in here. We will see that there's start going to be up here. There's room for radiation. Don't like it, but it will be so. And I can enable these now because they will actually start moving in. We have the first little batch of this that goes in, and they start working on the reprocessed. Obviously, we are going to, because we have a large backlog of spent fuel, we will be backlogging this one, but over time, we will be producing less spent fuel than this can support. So we're only going to be producing 1.5 of these generally, and I am consuming 18 now. So it's going to be consuming fast, building in here, and oh, now this is also important. That is the plutonium. So the plutonium goes in here, and then I need to make sure that it's prioritized to go into the MOX. And once it goes into the MOX, then we'll see. And this one, yes, this is lower here. Good. Right, so it just has to go in. I mean, I'll never really use this. I don't imagine that I'll have a storage facility full of plutonium ever. It's too valuable to just have lying around. And it goes in. If nothing else, we can just make dirty bombs out of it. There we go. We're getting the first of these two operational. And once those are done, oh, we have already a few on the, oh, nice. So the MOX rods are not taking anything in because it's not there. And now the cooling starts going in, the water tanks, all the stuff that's sort of going. The fact that this cooling tank is so small is a little bit scary. Waiting for product. Now this has to go all the way up to, what is it, 16? 16 to be minimum, so it's just gonna let it run for a little bit in, and then we'll get back to it. Yep, open flatbed truck full of spent fuel containers. Maybe one drops off, you never know. And then it's going to be a little bit problematic. So no wonder the population is dying off from this. But it's just one of those things. Just fill it up. Don't worry about it. We'll take the political hit and then we'll move on. Anything else here? This one's working. This one is gradually working. And this one is not getting anything. The reason why it's not getting anything is because it's not getting the plutonium, because all the plutonium is going to be allocated here to make the MOX cells, and the MOX cells are now ready. We have 17, and that means we can actually get it started. Looks like everything else, it's got the water, it's got everything. These ones are fast enough to transport, so we can just bump it up here. And let's see. That should be feeding out here, and these ones should get started. It takes a little bit of time for them to realize that there's actually inbound steam. These are not spinning. Yeah, there we go. They start spinning. Start spinning. Working. Yes. And missing. Working. Missing. Missing. But it'll get up there, because we are producing it at the right pace, and then it'll go out here. This is the excess, the 96 coming in, and that gets converted into 72. The 72 gets supplemented in this one, supplemented with additional water coming from over here, and that should just keep the whole thing going and happy. And this thing here is never going to be scaling up because I'm not setting up here. I just wanted to be building all that we can here, and then we'll gradually, eventually get some spent MOX out of this. While we wait for the MOX to accrue, then we have another issue, and that's actually the steel. I had to bump up all the steel. As you can see here, we're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different Unity just to keep up. And yes, we're keeping up, but we're not sort of keeping up a lot. So I want to add another 50% to this. So that is an extra one. And while we also do that, I have set this on that this is now struggling because it can consume 360, but I want to make 2 of these instead. And then also now, because I have carbon dioxide, I can actually make the carbon dioxide. We have the reprocessing, so we can make carbon dioxide into graphite. So I built a little design down here. That thing I think is sort of plug and play to take 2 of these exhaust scrubbers, and those will produce 72 each, and those 72 will go in here on 144, make 6 graphite, put in the giant box of graphite. That will of course be warning if it's full, but I still have an overflow, so that if it overflows, then it can still be vented out here. That will be now exhaust. There. No, it's actually not exhaust, it is CO2. There. And this is now a big one that recovers. Is it depleted steam? No, it's steam low. Okay, so steam low, that one, 72. So I get 72, or that's 3/4, and we're outputting 24. So 48, that means I recover 36. That means this consumes only 12 water. So that's not so bad in terms of water, and we also produce more sulfur. More sulfur means more acid and more slag and good stuff. So what I need to do is, I actually need to delete all this stuff. Let's see, this one, is that going anywhere? No, it's just recovering. So go all of that out. Yeah. And yes, that's actually fine. Good. And then I actually want to take these out as well, because they've kind of, I need a third one. So that's the answer to that. I'm gonna flip it, and then I'm gonna go build it back here. Okay, let's get you and Unity. Oh, okay, it's only the top one that I deleted. Good. And then I'm gonna get you in here. 1, 2, and 3. Then I need to hook this one up again. And I think it's just that line here. Yes. And the other ones, what did I do about those? Oh, I think I just vented them on the site. Like, there's always such an easy argument, like, oh, but you can use it. I can use it for something, the nitrogen, but it's not worth doing. And let's get that one back online, so we can at least get some of this online. And I'm also going to be kill all of that. And you need to just go away. Good. Now I need an extra build of this, I think. How close do we want to make it? What's the distance? That's there. Good. Then we clean up all the pipes here. Wonder what that pipe... Alright, this steel is panic restoring here, and I'm going to be build all that. Yep, not enough Unity. Missing a lot of Unity. I'll just try building the rest. There we go. I need to make sure that all is built. And then I hope that they are going to be bringing stuff in here. Oh yes, because I think we have all that is, yes, 2,000. Bring it back in. That's going to be a lot of work, but they're stable now, so that will suddenly be changed. And I'm going to break this part inbound. And where do we, oh, I forgot that. Oops. I need more people. Can I even, I can't get more people. Oh no. Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of problematic. I did not foresee that. Oh, I'm also out of build mode. And yeah, that sucks. That means I don't have enough. Oh, it's Unity I'm missing to build it. Yeah, okay, I need 15 Unity to build that. Missing workers. That's fine. I can disable this right now. There, we want the workers, and we want this part here as well. And let's see. So what is it? This is going to be the gas coming out, and that will go into here. But that's the liquid. Okay, so it comes in at a higher. What is this? This is water. Oh, it's not even connected. This is not connected, and this. That's the oxygen coming in. Yes, so that needs to be done. And there is the water coming in here. That goes over to that one, which will then subsequently also go. No, this is also fine. But then the water comes in. Can I move it one over so that this actually matches? Yes, I can. I'd like it to be there. I don't have any preference to where it should be, but kind of close. There we go. And then I'll get a water thing from here. That one. And then turn around. There. Okay. Those need to also be built. Yeah. And I'm going to be unpausing because we need this done. Then I need the most important one is this one, the gas here, and that needs to go into here. So that has a lot of work to be done. That's going to be up in level 3. Nope, it's going to be in level 2, I guess. And here, and then in that one and up. Okay, so this is actually more important. Let's just unpause this and try to focus on some of these getting done. Just a little bit at least. Not enough Unity. Yep, Unity is our big issue with all of this. And also more people. What about this one? Is it built? Yeah, it's coming in. It's getting built pretty quickly. Okay, we could Unity build it, but it is already processing. So no worries. And this should be very busy because they are hopefully bringing some more steel into this location. Come on, everyone get in there. And then I'm going to go just use all my Unity on updating these small things here. Yeah, damn Unity. Is it getting in? Yes, it's getting some exhaust inbound, and I can always just do that just carefully. And that needs water inbound. So why is the water not coming inbound? That is because I took not the right one. Yes, thank you. Off you go. That goes out. And up here instead. And that will be keeping that up and then go down. Right. And this is the primary inbound. But that's the recycler, so it's not going to get much inbound. And do we have junk in this one? Yes, we do. There. And this one also has junk. There you go. And that's removed. So at least you have water now. Good. This is going to be out. Okay, so at least it's going to be processing because all of this was stuck because it could not get rid of its exhaust. So now it can at least get a little bit out of its exhaust. And there, and that one. Now I don't need the boost on you because the other one should also be working. That's going to be picking up 360 fuel gas, which I think is going to be enough. And you go in here. And do we have the return flow? Yes, we do have the return flow, and that should minimize the amount of water that's consumed. And we are getting some of this. I actually think I want to push this out. Yeah. But if it fills up, then I just vent the rest. It's sad, but not so sad. I do want to see that something gets done. Yes, it does. Good. So we are getting more workers, but certainly not enough. What do we need? We need 18 plus 10 plus 6, so it's 34 workers to get this one in. And we are slowly getting all that in. Let's see if we are... Okay, so we don't have any more. So that means the steel that we have here is... This is it. This is the steel we got. And it's not going to be any faster until we actually get the new one online, and we can't get that online until we get more people, but we do have more capacity, so we can go on the map and just hire more people off the map. There. That's going to be enough for now. So that's going to be unpause, because we really want to see that it works. Okay, I need to see how many workers. We need 19 more workers. Good. That we can get that up here. Nope. Up here. Then 2. There you go. There you go. 1 additional worker. We don't want to have a health crisis on our hands, then we are in trouble. But are they producing? Yes, they are producing. You're producing? Kind of. Yes, you're producing and you're not producing yet. But they have all the stuff that they need, and so I should have now added another 50% on our steel build, massive steel build, but also now a graphite build. Sweet. And we can then go over to our MOX build and then take a look. We are at 22 on the MOX. Nothing more to do on this one. What we can do now is we can just simply sit here and wait until, first of all, the superheated steam gets completed, and then also the fast breeder reactor. When we get superheated steam, we actually have the option for the electric boiler to make super steam, and the super steam is super useful because we can put the super steam into a hydrogen reformer together with water, and then get hydrogen and oxygen in really good quantities, and then simply bleed the steam. So this is like only turning water into hydrogen super efficiently. Oh yes, costs some power from the electric boiler, but I think that, how much is that, like 8 I think, but now we have extra 30 megawatts coming in from this one. Right, so that's going to be the end of this episode. It went a little bit long because I also wanted to do this part here on the steel build, but then we have the steel build, we have the MOX generator, because this is basically just a MOX generator, and it just has the added benefit of generating enriched uranium 20%, which we'll use for the core fuel for the fast breeder reactor at the very end of the game. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to get access to the cool designs here, you can get that if you are a patron supporter, because patron supporters get access to save games, so you can just snatch whatever blueprint you want. I'm streaming this once a week on Twitch, so check out my schedule on Discord and when the next one is going to be. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.